Hello, good afternoon. A man's been charged with the murder of a 32-year-old man in Birkenhead. Ian Maddox was found with stab wounds in an address on Whetstone Lane on Friday and taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. 26-year-old Doug Plumpton, also of Whetstone Lane, has been remanded in custody and will appear at South Sefton Magistrates Court tomorrow. A man who crashed his scrambler bike into a wall in Merseyside has died. 24-year-old Adam Egan was critically injured outside the Farmers Arms in Fazakerley on Tuesday. Following the incident, the Chief Constable of Merseyside Police, Andy Cook, spoke of his disgust after patrol cars were spat on and their tyres let down while officers tried to help the motorcyclists. Motorists angered by a 10p rise in the toll at the Mersey tunnels have staged another protest today. The cash price for cars and light vans increased to £1.80 per journey. The Liverpool City Region Combined Authority voted for the rise. The Mersey Tunnel Users Association say politicians have broken promises to reduce fares. An event's been held in Buxton today, marking 100 years since the RAF was formed and this year's centenary of the end of the First World War. A permanent memorial was unveiled, made from limestone from a nearby quarry. Many of the quarry's workers went to war and didn't return. Naomi Cornwell reports.
We are gathered today to give thanks for those who have given their lives in the service of this nation.
They gathered in Buxton's Memorial Garden to mark both this year's centenary of the end of the First World War and the 100th anniversary of the formation of the Royal Air Force.
It really came to fruition in the First World War, and they saw how useful it was and that it was very specialised and needed its own service. And that's why it's created on the 1st of April 1918.
The stone was chosen to reflect the town's contribution to the First World War.
A lot of the people that went off to World War I were quarry workers, and they joined the Sherwood Foresters. And at Passchendaele, at the memorial there, you will see the first memorial as you walk out of the car park into the memorial is to the Sherwood Foresters, given by Tunstead Tarmac Quarry here, same place that the stone today has come from. So it's very special.
It's because of this that we understand the importance of remembering and respecting the legacies of those that came before us.
At the closing of the ceremony, everyone attending was given a daffodil, a symbol of chivalry and new life. Naomi Cornwell, BBC North West Tonight in Buxton.
The skeleton of a prehistoric deer, described as one of the most extraordinary creatures ever to set foot on the British Isles, has been found on the Isle of Man. It stands 2 metres tall and is thought to be 10,000 years old. Members of the public reported the discovery to the Manx Museum, which excavated it. Kelly Foran's got more.
These bones have unravelled some Ice Age secrets from the Isle of Man. This is a megaloceros, or giant deer. The CGI footage here shows what prehistoric clashes might have looked like. It's a rare find.
Something this complete hasn't been found here for quite a long time, probably nearing 100 years or so. So we all kind of hot-footed it down there. So there was 3 of us on the beach and all sort of trying to dig it out within the day.
Recent bad weather has caused the Kirkmichael coastline to erode. The remains fell off a cliff edge and landed on the beach, a lump of clay breaking open to reveal the skeleton. The Bradley family stumbled across them but had no idea what they'd found.
My mum was suggesting all sorts of different things. We did mention a deer, we mentioned a cow or maybe a horse, but on reflection that seems a bit silly now. The sheer size of it was the thing that stood out the most. Its rib cage was no enormous.
Only 2 other deer skeletons have ever been found on the island, this one discovered in 1897, and it's been a prize exhibit at the Manx Museum for decades. They had the largest antlers of all time, around 12 foot from tip to tip.
We are just keeping these bones as protected and static as possible. We're keeping them in conditions to help preserve the information that they have.
Scientists will now analyse them to see what else they might reveal. Kelly Foran, BBC North West Tonight, the Isle of Man.
OK, time now for a look at the weather. Details from Sarah Blizzard.
Good evening. Well, it's been a reasonable day today. We've certainly had a slightly drier part of the Easter weekend on Easter Sunday, but it's changing now through the evening and overnight. We've got a weather warning in force, not only for heavy rain, but also for some snow. Now, predominantly, that snow is likely to be over higher ground, so affecting the Cross-Pennine routes, and it will be working its way northwards, hitting into that colder air that's sitting over the country at the moment. So a minimum temperature tonight of around 2 or 3 Celsius. And then tomorrow morning, that weather front continues its journey northwards, producing a lot of rainfall at times, continuation of some hill snow, accumulation certainly over the higher ground, and milder air gradually coming in. You can see where that divide is across the region. Colder air to the north, milder air to the south, but certainly a very wet Easter Monday.
Your BBC local radio station will have the latest in the morning. That's it from me for now. I'm back again with our late news at 10:20. Bye-bye.